Hi, I promise I didn't forget. I just had a little issue with Streamlabs. Um, wasn't connecting for a while, and I realized it's because I had an extension on my browser that was blocking Streamlabs from connecting to YouTube. So that was cool. Anyway, how are you all doing? It's been a while since I streamed, I think. For those of you who don't know, I did get a new job, which is great because I can spend more time working on Inverse and personal projects, and not having to do art so much for, like, to make my living. Not great because it's a very physically demanding job, and sometimes I just get home and go to sleep. But today I am going to be working on the Leo and Splinter animation, hopefully one last time. I think everything is pretty much lined. I'm just fixing some things with Splinter's tail, and then I'm going to be coloring. Hey Mikeys, what's going on today? So yeah, just working on this animation, trying to get it done. It's going to be a very chill, easy finish up and color stream. Yeah, because everything that I have to do is just like, what do I have? 2 frames of Splinter's tail, 2.5. And then I just have to track the insignia on his belt. And then coloring time. So, feel free to chill. Just keep me tabbed if you want to. Or if you want to ask questions, go for it. It's going to be a very easy stream today. That's not the right tool. It's not even the right frame. Close enough. You're not really gonna see this part anyway. It'll be hidden by his body. So usually when you do tails... Wait, why is this? Oh. Yeah, I shouldn't have my next color the same color as my sketch. Okay, there we go. Usually when you do tails like this, you want to try and use some kind of tool to keep it even. So for the most part, I'm using a Bezier tool. So here I'm just like drawing 2 points and then adjusting a curve between them. Because if I were to hand draw this, it would get pretty wobbly. Unless you're really good at keeping your lines like consistent, I highly recommend using some kind of Bezier line tool for tails like this. Yeah, Splinter. Unfortunately, shapes like this are kind of unavoidable. I mean, unless you did a 3-point Bezier. So this one I did hand draw, but like the awkward part up here, you're not gonna see. And I think this is the end of the loop, which is great. My lines don't exactly match up, which means my sketch was not very, like the volume of my sketch was not great. So I'm mainly trying to mimic what you'll see, because you're not even going to see this part up here, it doesn't matter. It stays behind his leg the whole time. It's so weird that that's like that's on 2. Oh well. And then I'm gonna set this to... Oh. It's because this doesn't need to be there. Cool. Hey, Red, what's going on? So now all I'm gonna do is just add... there's like a few little details we have on Splinter's tail. I'm wondering if it would be better to fill the tail and then use the fill as a masking tool, so I don't have to erase out the edges. No, I think it's fine if I just do it on the line art. Put 2 close together and then 1 like that. I think will be interesting enough to break up the shapes. Yeah. Wave patterns are really cool. They're difficult to understand at first. But once you master the wave pattern, you're like golden. Oops. So his tail definitely grew in volume in this frame. I can actually fix that just by making sure I track the markings correctly. Maybe I should do a tutorial on an easy wave pattern. I'm actually going to use this opportunity to fix this line, because it should already start tapering. This should actually be this. me finish this, like, I've got like a few more frames to just quickly knock out. Here, there. Yeah, that doesn't jump around too much. I think that's good. Okay, cool. So I didn't do it on this animation because I already kind of know how a wave pattern looks. But when you're first starting out, the best thing to do is to like, so for this tail, right? It's just one single line that's moving up and down, but you could totally do this with, well, I guess it's two perpendicular lines. But the best thing to do is actually to just like make a circle. So let me hold shift to make a perfect circle. I'll make it a different color. So we have this circle, right? And I'll just say that we're like, like if he had like a cape or something that was here. So we're gonna take our circle, apply it, and then maybe, you know, at like 7 frames, so or 3 frames out. You know, so this is gonna be animated straight ahead. We're not doing pose to pose for this one, but you kind of are. But you'll see what I mean. So I'm just gonna go out here and make a new instance of this frame. The only reason I say it's kind of pose to pose is because you do want to make note of like where the animation starts, so you can make a perfect loop and not have to animate constantly. So it's kind of pose to pose and like just keep track of your first frame. But like 3 frames out, all I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take the circle. I'm just gonna like start moving it down. And there's no like slow ins or outs really. Which is why I'm gonna do it straight ahead. Oops, I didn't want to make a new frame. I just wanted to move this one. So I'm just gonna keep moving this down. There can be like a slight slow in, like a very slight one. You could see like this circle is much closer to its previous frame than like the last circle was to its previous frame. But I'm not doing anything too extreme because I don't want it to look like it's sticking. And so then I'm going to start moving back up. And when I'm moving back up, I want to make sure that I'm passing my previous frame. So I'll make the previous frame like red or something so you could see like this red frame. I'm going to pass that so it doesn't stick as I'm going back up. It's almost like you're animating a bouncing ball. You could do this, you could do this pose to pose if you wanted. But you don't have to, so I'm gonna get rid of that last frame. I'm gonna loop it, so you could see. So you have this like circle moving down, and you're like, okay, well, what the hell are you doing with a circle moving up and down? So what you're gonna do is you duplicate the circle, right? So we're gonna say duplicate selected layers. And let's duplicate it twice, right? I gotta give these new names so my program knows what to do with them. Or, no, you don't have to give them new names. It's so that my program doesn't overwrite something. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this loop each time. Oh, okay, so that's what it's doing. Oh. Can I not duplicate them? I thought I renamed them and it would be fine. Oh, it is fine. What happened? Alright, whatever. I'm just gonna offset each of them by 1 frame. So 2 is gonna be offset by 1 frame, and 3 is going to be offset by 2, or by a few drawings actually, right? So now if I play it through... Oh, I guess I should have moved them. They're offset. And now for 2, I'm just gonna move it here. You're all good. I'm just making like a really quick guide. And honestly, I should be doing this like on its own project and like have a dedicated script to it, but it's just like a quick tutorial, so no worries. I appreciate you being here regardless. I hope you enjoyed the movie. Okay, there we go. So now you have these 3 offset circles, right? I'm muting this. So you got these 3 offset circles, right? You just basically, I just made 3 bouncing balls. I offset each of them by 1 more frame, and then I move them out to the side. And then all I gotta do is just on another layer, maybe right above it. Oh, don't like that none of these held. Let's do loop. Yeah, I guess I have to say loop on both sides. Oh. Is it hold? Is that what I gotta do? Oh. So the issue that I'm having here is just me, like, forgetting how this program works. Okay. Yeah, and it should be a loop. Okay. So now it works. 3 offset circles. And now all I gotta do is come up on another layer. Let's choose a new color. And I'm just going to trace over the top of these. Frame by frame. And now you have a perfect wave pattern. Oh, I didn't loop this, but... There you go. Now you have a perfect wave pattern. You just gotta make sure you anchor the one point of it, because there's usually an anchor, like if it's hair, it's your head. And then there is a principle of like knowing drag and follow through to make sure that you're like this end of the tail, so obviously it curves upwards as the last ball moves down, and then it curves downwards as the last ball moves up. But if you can remember that, then it's a pretty, like, easy way to make sure you get the wave correct. But yeah. That's kind of how I did the tail, and how I'm going to end up doing the tails of Leo's mask, because I don't think I looped those. So I have to go back in and loop those. Yeah, okay, so that's done. And then did I not select group? Yay! I'm definitely gonna make a not longer, but I'm going to make a more organized, dedicated tutorial for that. I mean it, I will. That was definitely the, like, Spark Notes version of it. But I cannot tell you how long it took me to figure out how to animate a wave pattern. Basically, if you can animate a bouncing ball, you can animate a wave pattern. I think, is this here? It is. So the last thing I'm gonna do for Leo So here's the nice thing about this program. I can exit out to what's called project, and I can duplicate the project. Nope. I can duplicate the project. There we go. What I'm gonna do is separate the two of them into two separate like iterations of the project, because they overlap. I don't think you guys have seen, I probably haven't shown what the final clip will look like, and that's okay. But essentially the two of them are going to overlap. So I'm going to make this first one, I'm going to turn this into Leo's half. I'm going to turn this one into Splinter's half. So I can have a clean export sheet. So her body will hold, her weapon holder will hold, not ping pong, it'll hold. Her arms should hold, yes. The mask tail will loop. Oh, I have to make a new layer for them, but they will loop. And the sleeves should hold. Plastron should hold. Foot Clan logo should hold. And her earrings should hold, yeah. So now I'm basically going to do... Oh, okay. I guess I should do a bouncing ball tutorial, or I can send you a very good video on it. Because it goes over what I personally think is the most important principle of animation, which is timing and spacing. I genuinely think that timing and spacing is more important than squash and stretch. And, like, I think that the order of the 12 principles of animation, it is not well thought out. That's my animation hot take. Is I don't think there is an order to them, and if there is, I think it should be re-examined, because timing and spacing is the most important principle of animation, without a doubt. Oh, it's two separate mask tails that I have. Oh, because they're the same and I didn't want to animate them twice. Okay, so... I'm gonna make this a slightly different blue because it needs to loop. Okay. Oh, which one did you get? Did you get Richard Williams' Animator Survival Kit? Because that's a pretty good one. I also have PDFs I think I can send. If I haven't sent them, I should have. But, yeah, I mean, even I still check the Richard Williams book sometimes. Okay, so we're gonna call this our... So we're moving up. Okay, so the tails definitely got a little bit bigger, so I'm going to take this opportunity to just kind of shrink them. Maybe rotate just slightly. Yeah, that looks better. Yeah, it is a huge book. Super helpful though. It's definitely something that I more like will turn to if I need to know something. Rather than like reading through it and doing exercises from each page. But it is very helpful. I think I think one of the walk cycles I sent you was actually from that book. Let's name layers to make things easier. Yeah, I think I've definitely been guilty of using the Richard Williams animation book to press tofu, because it's, like, massive. So, if you never use it for animation, at least you can use it as a tofu press. Yeah, okay, that works. I mean, it's a very subtle motion, but that's all I needed. And then the last thing that I needed to do is there's a separation in color of her face above her nose and below her nose. So I am going to mark that off with a new color. That's a good idea. Learning animation like exercise to exercise, it can be really helpful as long as you like know why you're doing the exercises, if that makes sense. Because like the bouncing ball, like I said, is good for timing and spacing and squash and stretch, and wave patterns are good for timing and drag and follow through, and timing and spacing and all that stuff. The tails were like the last thing I really needed to animate animate and line. What I'm doing right now is I'm just doing a color separation because I am going to color on this stream as well. But whenever you do drag and follow through, or it's not technically secondary action, it's just drag and follow through. Whenever you do drag and follow through on clothing and tails like that, you usually want to do them last because they will always follow. Well, I mean, wind, yes, plays a big factor, but they will always follow the motion of the body. And if you animate them first or if you animate them alongside the body and then need to change the body, now you've just done extra work. So yeah, it is the last thing. I should make this line the color that her face is gonna be. So I need to bring in the colored reference. Let me find. Can you not search from anymore? What? Oh, it's because I had streamer mode on, but it's on a different thing. Found it. Let's go. She's so silly. Okay, so everyone and their mom has a different way of doing this, and I've seen a bunch of different ways. It's the way that you go about coloring and lining and separating shadows and all that is going to be different for every studio that you come across. Since I'm the animation director, I get to set how we do it, and I say whichever way works for you. So there is this division between the top half of her face and the bottom half of her face that I need to add in. It sits just below the mask line, and it looks like this. And so essentially what I'm gonna do is go through all the frames and draw this line in. And I'm not really gonna worry about staying inside the lines because I'm going to either delete it or kind of remove it later. Basically, I'm just using a really thin just a thin brush, and I'm gonna go through, and I should be doing it like starting with my keys and then and all that stuff. So I will do that just for my own sanity. I'm instead of doing it by my keys, I'm actually just gonna do it every time her. Well, I'll figure it out. There's a method to my madness. Sometimes. I've seen some places separate colors like this with like red lines or blue lines. Really depends. This is also a really nice way for me to see where I've like just made her like not correct. So obviously this mouth should not be crossing the lines. I really should fix it, so I'll do that later. Exactly. Yeah, if the method works. I mean, obviously, like, if you're working at a, like, studio, and they have a very specific way their pipeline needs to go, like, yes, you absolutely have to follow, like, what they tell you. Like, there will be a standard. But for this project, while we do have color artists, like I am for this project we do have color artists. I'm the one coloring this specific animation, and so I get to set the color rules, I guess. It's essentially a shadow, so I'm thinking about how the shadow would move and in relation to like the perspective of her face, and B, how to keep track of it. The other thing that is probably worth noting is that we are going to be using replacement heads in Inverse. So this method of like making sure the shadow on the turtle's face is not very important because it should already be there with the replacement heads. Since the replacement heads will be almost fully colored except for the frames that need to be altered in terms of like mouth shape or eye shape. This one needs to be altered. Okay. So now I get to do something really cool. This is the reason I used this program. Like I keep saying that like I use TV Paint, but Toon Boom is better for cleanup and all that. The reason I stuck with TV Paint is because something called a CTG layer. It is my favorite thing in the world. Basically, I just select all the layers from which I want the source to be. It automatically sets up as many frames as I need. Actually, that's not... is this gonna work? No, it needs to just be... Not the arms, not the mask tails for this one. Not the sleeves with the plaster and the rest of it. These ones, okay. then all I have to do is just tap. So I know that like the lower half of her face is going to be that color. Great. What's this one? Uh-oh. I have 3 different colors here. Well, they can always be redone if it's wrong. There's my dog. Everyone say hi to my dog. Oh my gosh! Hi, Pip! And there's the little guy barking. Whoa! It's because my mom is home and she's very excited. Let me go let her out. There we go. I have a feeling I'm using the wrong color. I think it's supposed to be this one. You know what? Just for the sake of making sure I'm not doing it wrong, what I'll do... I'll go through and I'll use the color on her reference, but I'm only going to do the top half of her face. No, I was going to do her arms on a separate layer. What did I just say? I just said I'm gonna do her arms on a separate layer and then proceeded to color her hand again. Oh my gosh. Alright. So it is feeling a little bit more than it needs to, but as soon as I go back and put that other color in there, it'll be like completely fine. I love this tool. It will color animation that, or it'll color lines that like aren't even close together. It's the only way that I was able to color my thesis film, which I know I haven't posted and I'm never going to, was because of this tool. Because my animation was so rough for that film. what else am I gonna... Oh, I could do her belt. It's the same color. I try and use the same colors, or like animate. Where's my keyboard? Oh, I mean, I know where my keyboard is, but like, I have a little macro board. Where is it? Where did it go? Oh well. I guess I just use it like this. I try and use the same like color all the way through. That didn't make sense. Like I pick a color and then I just do all the areas that have that color, and then I go backwards with a new one, and I go forwards. Wow, okay. So I do need to go back and fix that line, but hey, look at that! It's pretty good so far. So it feels a little bit more than needed. Oh, there's two... And then if I go back and... Yes, I know. If I go back and change a, change something, it knows. Okay, and then let's do... Oh, I've just completely erased the line in that area, so I will need to go back and fix that. Definitely going to have to ask about... Oh, there's no completed line there. The color of the plastron, because it's not something I can see in the reference. The coloring phase is also when you go through and you realize all the mistakes you made and then have to go fix them. I don't know, it's being pretty good about filling in areas that I missed. But like the... Oh, well, I mean, yeah, I got it. I know that there was some areas that I will have to go back and manually fix. That's okay. It's just the majority of it is gonna do it for me. It's also because I haven't merged the layers and stuff. I thought I could get away with not doing it, but I think I'm going to have to do something about it. Go through with this blue. And also, I forgot about neck. So I definitely don't have all the colors here on this reference. I'm gonna have to go see if we have another reference that has more colors. But yeah, basically these animations are done. It's really, like, I'm happy. I definitely struggled a little bit with Splinter, I think. Like I animated him very quickly, and then in the cleanup phase realized that he was either off model or the volumes didn't make sense. But now they're both completely lined. All I have to do is get the right colors for both of them and finish up coloring. So that's cool. That will probably be done off camera because, like I said, I don't have the colors for her shell or her plastron, and I don't know if I'm even using the right color for the face right now. So I'm gonna make sure I go check with that before I finish coloring Leo and Splinter. And these guys are basically done. So next stream is going to be some animation tests. I think I was talking about doing a Splinter kick because we have pretty much finished his reference. We just want to test out the way that his legs moved because he's not quite digitigrade, not quite plantigrade. So that'll be the next stream. Like I said, I have a new job. My schedule kind of shifts around from week to week, but I always know what it is on Wednesday. So I'll make sure to keep scheduling my streams through YouTube. That's the most reliable way to know when I'm going to stream because unfortunately, with the nature of what my work schedule looks like, I can't always guarantee a specific day. But I will update my YouTube schedule on Wednesdays when I receive my work schedule, and then that's when you guys will know when I'm going to be streaming next. So like I said, it'll be a Splinter kick. Very likely the stream is going to be on Saturday, if not Monday. We will see. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't checked out any of the Inverse socials, they are linked in the description. It's an awesome project. It's starting to come together. We're really looking to get into actual production, hopefully next month. And I'll be animating stuff on stream from the episodes. The other animators are actually, hopefully should start streaming and getting stuff up soon as well. I'm doing prep work so that they know how to... Sorry, that was my tablet. I'm just doing prep work on these streams to make sure that they have all the tools they need to animate these characters as well. So that's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for the project to get going. So please do check out all of those links in the description. And I will see you guys next time I stream. Thanks so much for joining.